until today, these traditional practices and beliefs still influence us all, because all the construction sectors practitioners, they are still worshipping Laoban. And in the very beginning of our construction works or other things, we still perform the rituals of paying respect to the land deity and other deities that protect our site. So architectural heritage is not just about architecture. It's also about these kind of intangible practices, beliefs, and traditions, and especially how we can holistically conserve them together to the future generations. So talking about innovations, innovation is not just happening in the past, but also in the present. So these pictures, the one on the right-hand side, anyone recognize where is it? The one on the right-hand side. Wangdou, yeah, excellent, great. So this is another design innovation that people nowadays could not have imagined. Because if you build a new building today, we won't adopt this kind of design or technology. So this is something that's very precious. And we must recognize how people in the past could have created this kind of innovations. And now, when we try to pass on the heritage created in the past to the future, we need to change and we need to adopt. So pictures on the left-hand side, the fishing raft. So they are traditional fisheries, but at the same time, they have been modernized in a way that still survive and provide us food that we can buy in the market. And also on the bottom, this is the neon light. So neon lights we used to create a very important cultural landscape in Hong Kong, the streetscapes, a very important scene of Hong Kong. And we are still looking for ways to apply, adopt, and also innovate so that this kind of craftsmanship and scene could still live on to the future. So architectural heritage is not just about buildings, but all things tangible and intangible. So now these sessions, we will explore innovation technology and also architectural heritage. So innovation is not just looking at, as I mentioned, innovation of creating a new future, but also at the same time recognizing innovation that created in the past by our ancestors. And also we examined these traditional practices in the present day so that we can pass on these very important knowledge and practices to the future. So and on the other hand, we also look at how modern technology could help us to facilitate awareness, raising, education, and also at the same time actually is creating digital heritage for our future generation. We are creating a lot of new heritage at our present time. So one of the things that I learned from the morning session is that we need to think about how to collaborate outside our own industry. So and arts and culture sector, we all think that culture is important, art is important, heritage is important, but this is a very small bubble. A lot of people outside this bubble, they could not, of course, I think many of them, they don't even notice we exist. So it's really important that we can join our efforts together and raise awareness so that our important assets, artistic heritage and cultural assets could be seen by people outside this bubble. And we need you all to work together. And architectural heritage and cultural heritage is part of the art, culture, and heritage sector. I would like to expand art and culture sector and from art and culture sector to art, culture, and heritage sector, so that we can work together. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our first speaker who is joining us online. So Mr. Giovanni.
Yes, did you hear me?
Yes, yeah, I'm going to introduce you.
Yeah, thank
Our first speaker is, he's Italian, but working from Malaysia now. So Mr. Giovanni, he's working for the Feng City from Malaysia. He's a master mason and conservation specialist devoted to the research and mastery of traditional buildings method and practical application in the restoration of artistic and cultural heritage. And he has accumulated 25 years of professional experience at national and international level, collaborating with local craftsmen and restoration techniques in practical interventions. So he believes that it is really crucial to combine historical knowledge on the methodology of a construction techniques with modern construction science, in which urban developments and climate adaptability must be deeply interconnected to create sustainability and at the same time preserve cultural identity through knowledge sharings. So one of the major contributions of architectural heritage to sustainability is actually by reusing, by safeguarding our built heritage, we reduce a lot of embodied carbon that create throughout the construction process. So this is one of the key things that how architectural heritage contributes to sustainability. And Giovanni is one of the experts that explore traditional technology and how to apply them in modern days so that in future we can still able to recognize and appreciate this kind of traditional techniques. So Giovanni, you have the floor. Please join me to welcome him to the stage online.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you for all of you to invite me on this kind of conference, where I think is very important, exactly what you say, how important it is to have a connection between the past, the present, but also the future. Can you see my slide?
We see only part of your slides.
Oh, okay. Now. Could you see now?
Perhaps you can try to exit and reshare again.
Okay. Yes, sorry for the inconvenience.
You can select the shots or
Share.
Can you try to select another screen?
oh yeah,
Yes.
becomes
And would you be
full screen.
Yeah, make it into a full screen.
Yes.
Yes,
full screen mode.
Full screen mode.
Oh, okay. Full screen mode.
Yes.
Okay.
Through the last one.
Oh, okay. Why? What's happening? Oh, gosh.
The full screens mode at the
did it.
bottom of.
Or can you enlarge it?
Oh, okay. Just a moment. I think I stopped to share and do again.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
excellent.
Okay. 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 So first of all, this is our I can say our building where we starting to have this kind of approach based on our research on the field. At the first moment, what we tried to understand it was how we can have a good result having this kind of methodology of construction where it was realistically imported from Europe and at the same time was imported into Asia, and based on the concept of Europe, based on the concept of the Roman construction, most of the time all the material that was used to build was a local material. But we don't have any kind of information about that. And I can say, thanks to the idea to make an place and connection between the existing community and to understanding how this is possible. There was an multi-agency governance model that was organized by public and a private organization that give us the opportunity to experiment this new kind of methodology in Georgetown, especially in Penang. So Georgetown is part of the new UNESCO Heritage Site from 2008, and I think Georgetown itself is a intangible part of sharing the culture because they are interconnected on construction, on languages, on food between East and West. So in fact, this value became for more over than 500 years. And we can see in Georgetown, we can feel in Georgetown how different kind of culture came from Malay culture, Chinese, Indian, European, coexisting all together. And at the same time, Georgetown, you can feel until today how was part of a colonial city, and but at the same time people recognize with a kind of proud this kind of history. As we can see on the second picture here, GTCDC, which one was the agency created by Penang government, Aga Khan Trust for Culture and Think City, starting exactly from this area to connecting community with the heritage sites. This is what today is almost done. We are still working and producing other kind of idea of how we can continue all the conservation activity on site. As you can see, all of this is the restatement of the moat. Moat was part of the fort, and it was closed during the 1920s. Was filling in based on the malaria, based on less maintenance, we can say actually, which one wasn't very healthy place. And but to talk about this one, we become very technically. So the idea is to talk almost about the storage room, which storage room is based on the area of the south of the fort. The south area is almost 10 storage room, and inside the storage room, I think we try to make all together the principle of conservation, which one is based on scientific investigation, to create some authenticity and the integrity of materials, but at the same time thinking, don't forget the reversibility as well as the sustainability. And this has become 4 main points during our activities at Fort. When we reach the area, we can see how most of the room was completely, I can say, not abandoned, but having this kind of irreversible intervention where we can have very less drainage system which one was contribute on the kind of can say damage of the surface, as well as all the surfaces internally and externally was used white cement as a plastering coat as well as acrylic painting. And then we can see all this kind of red line next to the entrance, which one was completely unconcrete area, where create this kind of unbreathable building and suffocating the structure. And also sometimes I can say you didn't feel that was part or was that it was calling a fort, so to protect people inside. But in the same times, if we have internally all this kind of wrong material was used or wrong activity that was done in the last years, externally we still have completely unbricked surfaces, which really absorbing the humidity and absorbing the water raining, which then I can say transporting inside to the rooms and affecting completely the healthiness of an internal room. Now we are going to talk about room 10. Is a almost an intervention where I can say and just a construction of or reconstruction or restatement of the original arch could become today a very sharing point and a very important point that can be also could be also considered as art of construction. And all this kind of activity was done with the general workers. So we had this kind of challenge also to teach that a different kind of intervention, a different kind of technology, and a different kind of techniques can be used during the construction time. And at the same time, the challenge was to using only local material with the zero cement, and this was it was done. So this was the room when we starting to go in, and we can see how was it affected from the humidity, biological attack. Was really it was really an unhealthy place, and was used as a museology. When the people go in, so you feeling also that this kind of storage room was very short, and sometimes also when you used to go in, you was feeling to go back out because really feeling and breathing this kind of condition. Yeah, in the end, I can say conservation is a cycling process. Cycling process which is almost repetitive because sometimes you starting from normally from reading point, and when you before arriving to the dashing to understand which kind of intervention you need to do, you need again to go back and re-observing or re-measuring or analyzing again and try to comparing again all the information to be sure that the intervention or the idea of the intervention is almost the right methodology and the right methodology of the intervention. Yeah, reading it's almost one of the first point when we're starting for conservation. Is a main point of to understanding the origin, to understand the function, but also to understand the evolution of the building. And at the same time is also the transition of the building, because fort as based on our research, the first fort was using the wooden piles, and at certain point, based on the request of Francis Light, the England company investing to buy the bricks, and the first bricks came from Chinese they received like 90,000 bricks from China to start to build the fort as actually we can see it. Yeah, fort have all the history, likely based on our research, based on the killing maps. I was a surveyor. We had almost all the transition and the transformation of fort, where we can see from the beginning having and still have likely this kind of construction method, which is a method of construction following the 15th century fort that was built in Europe, where most of the corner, sometimes is 5, sometimes is 4, sometimes can be also 6. Most of the corner is created using bastion to defend the side of the wall, and at the same times we starting also then to observing what and how to compare and measure what we having directly on site. And this is was it possible only creating and schedule and data, starting to record all the kind of activities that we need to create at the same time. Analyzing is the process of direct process, where normally we starting to understand the composition of coat and mortar that we have on site, and understanding also which kind of biological attack is almost and coming from where. And we can see that most of the picture here, looking as most of the plaster, it was done by cement. It should be done, I think, so 1970s, 1980s. But luckily, I can say, digging layer by layer without destroy it and understanding where we would like to arrive, we really reach the original pavement, as you can see here on the bottom of the picture in the right. We find the original pavement and floor, as well as most of the original plaster inside to the room, and we keep that consolidate all this kind of original portion. Sure, sometimes analyzing means also, I'm saying sometimes because normally it will be evident when you understand the history of the building. It's evident which kind of methodology, which kind of material they use it. And we can say that the number one is the original portion. That is a hydraulic material based on a mixing of lime and the pozzolanic material. Then from the second and third one, we have here two different kind of period of intervention, where we know we can be sure they was using wrong materials, because I think they have this kind of pink orange color, where we are quite sure that they thinking that the kind of pink color came from the bricks powders, but realistically was a clay, and the clay absorbing most of the problems that we find inside to the storage room.
Yeah, Giovanni, I think I know you have a lot of slides. Please, because of the limit of the time, you may have to go faster.
Okay. Sorry for that. Yeah, in certain points, observing again, it was a cycle. So after we remove the plaster, we find all the kind of intervention that was rebuilt by Japanese period. And here again, we can see how the Japanese during the intervention starting to remodify all the rooms. And at the same time, we can see the green color was the trace of the original portion. We compare based on the pictures having on the archive the 1939 picture, which show how the arch was arched, not rectangular. So we have this kind of also excuse of our intervention. And then we deducing that thanks to all the information that we have, we know that the middle of the part was completely rebuilt by Japanese after a bombing area. Instead, the first and the third the first part and the last part of the storage room was keeping as the original one. Conservation at this point it become a bridge between past in the present. We create our conservation activity, and this will be again sharing for the future. Here is all the traces of the arches, and we're starting to remove all the Japanese reconstruction, as well as then we find the original plaster. We can see in the left and the right the picture, and then we consolidate the picture. We consolidate the plaster and keeping as we find it. Then we start to study the geometrics part of the arch, understanding the radius, understanding the clear span, understanding also the spring line. Spring line, then we starting to understand how there was built the rooms in connection with the entrance, and we can find the spring line that was sharing inside to the room. So all the barrel vault that we have here having the same spring line of the entrance of the arch. Then we starting to understand again how the proportion between arch and the opening it was combining, and we can see here also the inertial nucleus, which one will be the power, the strength of the arch cannot be working so to being a semicircular arch, but it was a strength beams arch. At the same time, we can see the hexagon part of the arch was exactly the fixed point of the opening. Then after this one, we move to the practical and real work on site. We starting to do the form work using the scale 1:1 and building using a wood. We start to remove the places which one was damaged after the Japanese intervention, and keeping the original portion as I can show you in the left. We starting to create a wooden form work on here, exactly how the arch should be done. And then we starting based on the rules of the 30, 60, 90 degree to rebuild the arch. As you can see here, the first steps was rebuilt from the both sides on 30 degree. Then we reach the 60 degree here, and then we close with the keystone. Keystone, which one then become a part of the middle portion. After this one, based on the hexagon form, we building our door. And then we are going now to understand which kind of material we use. Yes, all of this material is a local material. We find the right combination between the two types of material. Which one? On the right we have the granite, sand, chipping, and gravel. On the left is selecting powder bricks, chipping bricks, and gravel bricks. This one is combined with the lime putty. Having the lime putty, we can find the kind of mortar that we needed to create a new plastering coat, which one is more sustainable because it's 100% recyclable, and so we can be reused for almost every time for almost of the things. And at the same time, lime putty will become our lime wash. All this kind of material was homemade, and homemade also was done during, you can see here, the Japanese reconstruction, where we're keeping this on and showing the difference between the two periods. So the white color is the original portion. Instead, the gray color is the concrete portion. And here we want to show how the innovation of the materials and how we can say materials can contribute on our heat of environment, but as well the heat of our place. You can see here the original plaster on the original construction, how a different kind of temperature is. It's almost, we're talking about 6 degrees between the concrete cement structures, and this is normally happening on the modern construction. Thank you. Sorry for delay.
Thank you, Mr. Giovanni. I think I would like to make a remark before we move on to the next speakers. So there's actually several things that I would like to highlight because I know many of you are not from a technical background. And what Mr. Giovanni shared is very technical. But I would like to highlight a few things. The first one is the respect of the traditional fabric and layers of histories. So when we do innovations, we usually emphasize new things, the new. But actually in architectural conservation, we are very carefully and sensitively make follow-up research on the historical layers of the structures and respecting every single layers of these structures and fabrics, and how to safeguard them and also interpret them to the future. And the second one is in this morning in the section with Benny, there's one speaker that talked about textile. Textile, he talked about how we understand textile, color, material, technique. So these are the things quite similar in also architecture. But what's more is actually how we recognize the significance of every single part of it and combine it together in the architectural conservation work. And the third one I would like to highlight is the repetitive and cyclic process of architectural conservation. We continue this process periodically and also continue to improve and look for new, better improvement in each cycle. So this is something that I would like to highlight to you all. And next, we'll come back to Hong Kong. We have two representatives from Hong Kong. So the next session, we will talk about the historical building information modeling carried out in full dimension in Sunteen. So we have two speakers for this project. The first one is a surveyor, Ms. Lini Lau. She is the senior maintenance surveyor in the Heritage Unit of Architectural Service Department, and she has accumulated over 20 years of experience on building maintenance and rehabilitation in various kind of projects. And she plays a key role on the upkeeping of built heritage and ensuring the quality of government-owned facilities, at the same time providing quality professional advisory services on wide spectrum and promoting best practice in the industry. And also the other speakers is Mr. Felix Wu. He is also a maintenance surveyor from Architectural Service Department, and his current work specializes in the technical advisory and facilitates to upkeep of historic buildings. And his works focus on the balancing of safety, functionality with cultural values. Applying modern surveying techniques to safeguard invaluable historical buildings in Hong Kong while ensuring their continued performance for future generations. So I particularly picked these two cases to have a comparison of different kinds of architectural forms, locations, but with a shared purpose, how to safeguard them for the future. So please join me to welcome Dan on stage.
Thanks, Anna and Giovanni. Good afternoon, everyone. We are Lini Lau and Felix Wu from the Hong Kong Architectural Services Department. RCSD is a works department led by building professionals, focusing on these three core services, which are advisory, development, and upkeep of government institutional buildings. RCSD maintains more than half of the monuments and around 1/4 of graded historic buildings in Hong Kong. Our building portfolio ranges from rock carving sites, lighthouses along the coastline, military forts, kilns in remote area, to prominent buildings located at the city center of Hong Kong. On facilities upkeep, we implement day-to-day repair, preventive maintenance, alteration and improvement works, provide emergency services, all aiming to facilitate the operation of public services by various management departments. As building surveyors, our key mission is to ensure that buildings are safe and in good condition. Since heritage conservation needs specialized knowledge and practical experience, we organize training events for colleagues from time to time so that they know how to maintain our building stock. We observe a gap that practitioners and building owners always neglect when they completed projects, which is full record and documentation of our built heritage. We selected Tai Fu Tai Mansion to implement heritage building information modeling. We want to build up our as-built BIM inventory to promote the importance of good documentation works for our monuments. But we have challenges in maintenance. Some important architectural features are missing and broken. Usually there is no design drawings for built heritage. When a project work is completed, there is lack of public education to building owners and lack of awareness among stakeholders on the importance of records and housekeeping. We don't possess comprehensive records to support full restoration. Through HBIM, we want to set standards for in-house staff to promote best practices for practitioners and building owners. Through our interpretation works, we can also promote the good practice to the public and retain the knowledge on traditional craftsmanship to the youth and young maintenance personnel. Well, let's talk about our heritage site. Tai Fu Tai Mansion is located at Yuen Long, the northeastern part of the New Territories. It was 160 years old and is a monument. The mansion originally was a residence for a wealthy scholar gentry class, and it was converted into a museum in 1988 that showcases the glory of local people and traditional Chinese architecture. Our HBIM project basically took 7 months to complete the research and BIM model. And of course, more time was subsequently spent on our interpretation works. Tai Fu Tai Mansion is a historically significant building built by a clansman of the Man's clan who received the imperial title of Tai Fu in Qing Dynasty. And you can see some Manchurian words inside. And the Man's clan is one of the 5 great clans in the nationality of Hong Kong. San Tin has become a traditional rural society known as an established settlement of the Man's clan for around 6 centuries. The mansion is also a fine example of traditional dwelling of scholar gentry class in the southern China and one of the most beautifully decorated monument in Hong Kong. It adopted different kinds of building materials and decorations bearing auspicious meanings in Chinese culture, while at the same time blending in Western influence. For example, the timber fascia boards, timber bracket supporting system for pitch roof, glazed fanlight, granite and grey brick walls. They demonstrate high level of workmanship, craftsmanship, and aesthetic value. Let's take a look at the colorful timber carvings on the fascia boards. You will see auspicious objects that reflect the values and blends of beliefs of traditional Chinese community. Like this, the bat means fortune, bamboo and paradise flag catchers mean congratulations on your longevity. And you can even see a clock hidden here, reflecting Western influence and the wealthiness of the Man's clan in a rural society. What makes this mansion unique is the adoption of Shiwan glazed ceramic figurines at the main ridge of the pitch roof, because it is normally found in Chinese temple, but not any residence. The Chinese wall paintings are also gorgeous. We can see special architectural setting like this moon gate and traditional craftsmanship like decorative lime plaster. We call it Ling Lam Guang Fu Fui So. And the latter one is the China's intangible cultural heritage. Next, Felix will share on the use of IT for you.
Thank you, Nini. In the past, building surveyor took site measurements by hand and prepared the 2D records like what you have seen on the left-hand side. But now with the technological improvements, we've used the modern tools to prepare the building records. Here is our HIM framework. Generally speaking, we have 4 stages. We collect data, analyze data, transfer data to deliverables, and then utilize the deliverables. What differentiates BIM and HBIM is that we have the process of the historical research and then input the research into our model. And here are the deliverables. We have the conservation management plan, the animations, videos, and the model. Having the conservation management plan is very crucial. By completing it, we can trace the historical evolution of the site, document its physical changes, assess its heritage significance, identify the character-defining elements, and also we can maintain the photographic record and the conservation policy. Let me share some of the outcome of our research. Here are some old photos taken over different years we collected. These help analyze how the site has evolved over time, showing changes of the landscape and development around the area. Each of these photos we discover are valuable pieces of history, which are essential for us to understand the place. And the photo records in the CMP are important reference for our core business to facilitate upkeep. To ensure consistency and the ease of use, we have established specific standards for these photographic records. For example, we create a photo index using the floor plans marked with the photo direction indicators. These tools facilitate our reference, allowing us to locate and assess different features of the mansion easily. The next deliverable is the BIM model. We capture the physical building by using photogrammetry, which is a technique allows us to document every part of the structure in detail, creating a comprehensive record. These images serve as the foundation for developing the model. By using this method, we ensure the model accurately reflects the as-built building's dimensions, features, and providing a reliable basis for the future maintenance work. After photogrammetry, we proceed to create the BIM. Some of you may know what is BIM. It is used for the new construction projects. But in our case, we are working with an existing decayed monuments. This requires extensive proofreading and validation to identify any discrepancy, so as to make adjustment. This approach is very crucial because we have to make sure we accurately represent the existing building conditions. We also use the UV map application to overlay the photos onto the point cloud and the mesh models, turning some 2D photographs into a 3D visuals. This creates more accurate digital model of the site, help us to visualize and understand the build's heritage. The BIM also serves as a quick tool for generating the floor plans, elevation sections of the mansion. It streamlines our process on producing the tender drawings, allowing us to execute the repair works efficiently. Besides record drawings, we have also integrated identified character-defining elements into the BIM model. This process ensures that every staff is aware which elements are of heritage significance and their level of significance are carefully recorded. Another deliverable is a virtual walkthrough video that guides the visitors through the Tai Fu Tai Mansion online, making cultural experience more accessible, even allow the wheelchair users to appreciate the heritage significance on the upper floors. Capturing the building construction techniques is just as important as recording its appearance. Traditionally, the construction techniques were passed down orally, so little was formally documented, making such knowledge hard to preserve. In order to keep these skills sustainable, we produce animations showing these techniques, making them accessible for education and future preservations. And you can take a photo of the QR code at the left-hand corner for the full video, but now we can take a look at one of them. Okay. Okay, next, I will highlight the application of the HBIM. Firstly, by converting the site fabric into a detailed digital representations, we ensure that all the information about the building is preserved. This documentation helps prevent loss of information, which is essential for future maintenance. Moreover, we can achieve easy data retrieval for the CDE schedule, as-built drawings. It saves a lot of time for looking for a fake archival hard copies. This integration improves our own operational effectiveness and ensures the historic building is maintained with utmost care and precision. The deliverable also let our maintenance personnel could understand the place, the building's significance better. But what we want to highlight is that, as we know, the traditional techniques heavily rely on the maintenance personnel's experience and specially skilled workers' craftsmanship. To prevent the risk of losing these valuable skills, especially fewer young people entering the construction industry, the animations enable viewers for visualization of the construction materials, details, sequences, traditional techniques, and help the knowledge retention to our next generation. We hope to arouse the interest of our youth, the passionate youth, to join the workforce of historic building repair sector of the construction industry. One limitation of this project we encounter is that the photogrammetry in HBIM cannot capture very fine details needed for heritage repairs. And then it is overcome by using a close-range 3D laser scanning, creating a more detailed mesh models, archive them digitally, and then eventually we can 3D print those features as a reference for future restoration works. And this project responds to sustainability in different ways. The direct impact is that the digitalizations make the archival records permanently sustainable. The model saves our time for traveling and making viewing records paperless. But what really contributes to sustainability is that we improve our heritage conservation works to preserve the valuable decay monuments for the future. After all, let's share our insights. Firstly, this project proves the concept and the value of HBIM, establishing the standard to build a comprehensive heritage inventory for our buildings. By adoption of the international recognized conservation principles, we can use a new technology to have a good record keeping and documentations, which are usually neglected by the stakeholders. We wish to raise the awareness of the industry by promoting the best practice. By combining the advanced technology and the innovation, we promote smarter and efficient ways to conserve our built heritage for the future generations. If possible, we will look forward to have more collaboration works or experience sharing to do further on the heritage conservation. And that's for our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lini and Felix. Shall we invite Anna to have a panel discussion with us? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. While they are setting up the stage, I think the two projects actually touch up on a number of issues for the room that we just shared here from Dai Fu Tai. It's a case that showcases a very important thing about digital transformation. So digital transformation is some of the key aspects that we could not discuss thoroughly in the forum, in the conference, but I think it is something really important. Thank you. I'm aware of the time, so I will try to keep it very short. My questions, I will have only one question to you all, and let's open the floor to receive more questions. And one of the key things, I'm not going to talk about the technical challenges, but as a conservationist, I think we have I would call us a sustainability manager, in a way that we actually, our work is sustaining our very important heritage from created in the past and to the future. And in the conservation processes, we continue to look for innovation in conservation works that try to make things better for the future. So, as one of the challenge as working in this field, I think, is how to prepare ourselves for the project, and also how to make a success that thrives in the future. So, as a leader in leading this project, which is a very excellent project that shows how we can apply technology. What do you think are the key aspects that we have to prepare from day one to ensure our success of innovations? So this question is to both Phoenix and Lily, and also Giovanni. Perhaps maybe Phoenix and Lily.
Maybe we share our views first.
Yes.
We think the first thing we have to do in day one is to set up our vision and the objective of the project. In our project, BIM is not just technological experimentation, but actually is a long-term framework for maintaining Hong Kong-owned historic buildings, but also apply to private buildings also. The second thing is we establish a collaboration culture. We work with different parties like our in-house BIM team, the outsiders, the local community, the conservation, heritage conservation consultants. We work with them so that the project can adapt to the dynamically, so it can be address different views, but instead of being too single by limited viewpoints. We also have to consider the project should be we should have the adaptability and learning mindset, because in day one we should not expect everything to be perfect and going on very well, no matter how much planning you have done. Instead, we should be able to handle the risks and errors, viewing the constraint, the difficulties, or the limitations as a learning opportunities, so that we can make improvement continuously. And eventually, the product will become a good one, and then make more breakthrough until it's become sustainable. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And Giovanni, do you have any insight for us? Or what should us prepare from day one to ensure the success of innovation?
Well, if I have to share in my history here in Malaysia, was the first things that when I arrived here, it was an understanding, be more, I think, it's practical, understanding the local material, which kind of material you can find in local. Go against, I can say, sometimes with the multinational who impose their material as the material that can resolve all the problem that we have on site. And of course, also technology. I think to introduce a new technology for sharing for future, all the techniques of usage. I think is very nice to see the procedure, how the building was built based on the technology. But I think we should not forget that sometimes conservation and restoration is not only a building itself, as you explained very well in the beginning. So having this kind of a 3D possible to go in and virtual line, you cannot smelling what is on site, where the place, where the heritage, the building is inserting on. So I think it's very important also, the surrounding area is not only how beautiful is the decoration, how beautiful is the art, how very nice was the artisan. So I think it's very important also to touch visually, and also to touch, to be tangible on physically all the system.
Yeah, thank you very much. Giovanni emphasized local materials several times, and I would like to highlight how important is local material for sustainability, because the transportation, the carbon emission involved in transportation actually is one of the major factors of greenhouse gases. So using local material is really a very important aspect in sustainability in our architectural conservation industry. So we now open the floor for questions. Do you have any questions from the floor and also from online? Yeah. Would you please have to pass the mic? Thank you.
Hello, thank you very much. This question is more for our guests in Hong Kong. What channels are available to young people who are interested in becoming skilled craftspeople in conservation in Hong Kong?
Do you mean the contractor field, or the managing personnel?
From the sort of hands-on side of things, so the contractor perspective, not necessarily just architectural, but conservation and restoration in general, including architectural, but not limited to. It could be statues,
It should start from a local construction worker to get the safety green card, and the training from the construction in CIC, we call it CIC, the construction council, yeah. And then it would be best for them to enter into the specialist contracting company to be an apprentice. And they start from some day-to-day accumulation of the site experience is the best.
Yeah, I think they need to provide a professional career development pathway entry point, and I could supplement with further back. Actually, I think we should do more in our education to provide them some really hands-on experience, because I think a lot of young people, they don't even have ever touched on like masonry or like local materials and skills, etc. They are not exposed to this kind of culture. And secondly, I think we have to build their interest, because I think all of us here have a strong passion in heritage, and also a very strong passion in promoting our local culture. So how to cultivate this kind of passion among the young people is, I think, very important foundation. And then once they have this interest, then you need to get the license, qualifications, etc., to really get on into the practice. So these are the things that we should prepare them.
It needs a lot of training and experience. And the industry has suffered from a huge labor shortage problem. So if you know anybody who wants to enter the market, just contact me.
Yeah. Any more questions from the floor?
I mean, my questions are all based on my own curiosity. I think first question to Giovanni, because you talk about Think City, which is a huge project run by a sovereign fund. So I'm just curious, what is the ultimate goal of this Think City project? Perhaps you could enlighten us, a little bit. And the second question to the local case study, because I mean, this is really out of curiosity, because when we talk about architecture, but there are also people who used to use the space, and also people who used to live there, or so would there also be certain kind of documentation of the stories that were there, like for example, you talk about the flowers on the door, but why these flowers, why these colors? Would there be such continuation in the future? Yeah, the kind of synergy between the stories and the architecture. Yeah.
Okay, so may I invite Giovanni to answer the first question first? What is the long-term big vision of ThinkCity to carry out this kind of project?
Well, ThinkCity is working now for several years on giving the opportunity to the people to be in touch with the history. I can say what we are doing and what we are starting to do is exactly of the same question there was the guy made before to the teacher. How important is not only the experience on site, but it's very important to first of all to use the right terminology. This is what we are trying to do with ThinkCity. Today everything is art, but we should not forget that what we consider art today came from artisan. Artisan was the pillar of all the society around the world. In certain point today we needed a title giving to this kind of artisan people artists, which I think giving a new perspective also for the new generation. And ThinkCity is try also exactly what we are trying to do is give the value on the artisan, which then is on the future can be considered art or artist or just an artisan, because the artisan was the pillar. And before become an architect, before you should be an artisan, because was a steps, was a transition of the construction field to become before an artisan, a master mason, an architect, and then based on genius, you become engineering. So that is the transition of the figure that we are talking about today. And ThinkCity is try to put back this kind of idea of knowledge, starting from geometrical rules and go back to the engineering rules.
Yeah. So, so I think this is Giovanni's vision. I just add on further is ThinkCity is actually implementing this big project not just in the fort, but also in different parts of Penang City. So they are actually planning a resilient city for sustainable development by using by conserving the World Heritage fabric and also looking forward to future development. So this is the bigger vision of ThinkCity. But I totally agree with Giovanni that these young people and new practitioners, they should learn to respect the old traditional techniques and skills and also knowledge so that they can create their own new future. And second question for Phoenix and Nini, do you have any insight?
Professionally, you are curious about the linkage between the story, the history, and architecture, right? Because we are adopting the international conservation principle. The first step is that we have to understand the place. And we now have documented the whole building using the 3D laser scan, photogrammetry, and so on, and make the models. But for the doors, the flowers, the figures, maybe in some days, 50 years later, some of the door is broken. And then we take the photos out and look at the doors. There's flower, but which kind of flower? We don't know. So we have to make the records or do the research to understand why the door there is flowers, what is the meaning behind. Without knowing the meaning, some days someone may have make a mistake unconsciously. He want to do the best, but he don't know the story. So we now we try to promote the best practice by doing whatever we can try. Yeah, so we have to appoint a heritage consultant who are professional in take out the history and now record it so that we can take the documentations for the future maintenance personnel to do the right things.
Thank you. We have one online questions, but because of the time addressing to Giovanni. The online participants ask Giovanni how we shall evaluate the values of the restoration of a very old and deteriorated building. So because of time, Giovanni, I could only give you 1 minute. Sorry.
Okay.
How do you evaluate the values of a very old, deteriorated building?
Well, I think first of all the principle is to conserve as much as possible of what you find, and but before conserving, you need to also understand that all the material that you are going to use must be reversible material. So this is the principle of approaching of the conservation activity. Again, sometimes it looks material is a repetitive words, but realistically material is the base of the fabric. And a bricks can be a bricks, but if the bricks is using in a different way, a bricks will become a part of the history, as well as a piece of marble or stone can be a marble of stone, but it's depending how it is working with this kind of marble stone. So I think is the most important thing is leave the building how it is, and at the same time don't do any fake intervention when you are not sure about how the building it was, and conserve and preserve as much as possible to transmit on the next generation, the future generation, the part of the history of the entire surrounding building.
Thank you very much for your answer. And I think we come to the end of this session. I'm sure you have a lot of questions, and a lot of young people may be interested in our field. Please feel free to contact us. We welcome all sorts of people to work together and look for future collaborations very soon. So thank you once again for Mr. Giovanni joining us online, and also thank you, Lini and Felix, to join us here today. Thank you very much.